Hey, Allison here with Southland Goldens. I am here with Mr. Brown for your final training video. So what we're going to do throughout this video is I'm going to break it into different segments to show you all the commands that he knows. The most important is that you continue to use the same verbal cues and hand signals that we use here at Southland Goldens. If not, the training means nothing. Again, I also want to remind you that Mr. Brown is still a puppy. He is still considered a puppy for several more months. Puppy means he's got some energy that he needs to get out. Puppy means teething. He needs to have age appropriate toys that he can teeth. He also doesn't need free roam of a house, especially in the beginning. So I tell people anytime that a puppy comes home or a dog at any age, they take a step back just the first couple days in their training, in their potty training. The reason for that is the whole world, as Mr. Brown has always known it, is now completely flipped upside down. He doesn't know anyone, everything is new. He has to get used to you being his handlers. So I'm going to send you a schedule that Mr. Brown is on. What I recommend is that you try to stick to something similar to that. Of course, I know that the times that work here for us at Southland Goldens are not going to be perfect for your schedule. I completely understand. The main thing is to have him on a schedule and to stay pretty consistent with it. Now, for potty training, in the beginning, do not give him free roam of your home. He knows where his potty spot is here. He has not had an accident here in a very long time. He has to learn where the potty spot is at your home. So if you give a dog free roam of a whole new house, change his whole environment, you're just asking for him to have an accident. So what we want to do is we want to kind of limit his space and take him out frequently, every couple of hours. Now, at nighttime, you do not have to wake up in the night to take him out. He's perfectly fine to be able to hold it 7 hours at night without a problem. That is sleeping in a crate. So I am super big on crates for puppies. Once Mr. Brown gets a little bit older, gets used to your home, there's no need for a crate. But in the beginning, when we have a puppy that is under 12 months old, that is transitioning to a new home, we want to use our crate and use it frequently. So whenever he has to take a nap or you're going out to do something, put him in his crate. Perfectly fine. We do have to make sure that he continues to get the proper amount of exercise, meaning walks, playing fetch, if it's rainy or nasty outside, toys inside, tug of war, just games to keep him busy. Because if not, a misbehaved puppy is typically a puppy that has too much energy that they were not able to get out. He is a super eager to please, a very, very smart guy. Aren't you, Mr. Brown? Yes, yes, yes. So if you have any questions once he gets home, I am more than happy to answer them. Pick up the phone, give me a call. You'll see throughout this training video the things that he can do here as far as stay and calling over to me, going to a crate, staying in a crate with the door open. He is used to all that here. Like I said a few seconds ago, you're going to see he's going to take a slight step back. Honestly, it's just a couple of days while he gets used to you. We want to set him up for success. So we don't want to ask Mr. Brown to stay with you being his new handler and walking all the way across the yard a long distance. So we want to do baby steps in the beginning, just as he gets used to, okay, these are my new handlers. This is my new pack leader. We want to make sure that he is set up for success. So baby steps, and continue to build on that over about a week or two till he's back to where he was here at Southland Goldens. A couple of other things. You're going to see that I have a training pouch here. I only use his food. Mr. Brown is super food motivated. I don't load him with a lot of treats. When he comes home to you, I would recommend that you not give him any other foods. We want to make sure that we keep him on the same eating schedule, eating the same thing so he doesn't have an upset stomach, because the stress of a move can sometimes upset a dog's stomach, so we don't want to put new foods on there. So this training pouch is full of just his kibble. Now, in the beginning, we used a clicker to mark the behavior. You're welcome to use a clicker. You can use a clicker, or you can just say yes, yes, good. Those are marker words for, hey, a reward is going to follow. When I give him a reward, I'm giving him 2, maybe 3 pieces of his kibble. So not a lot of food. I'm not loading him up with food because we don't want an obese golden. Obesity in goldens is really bad on their hips. So You choose to use a clicker, that's perfectly fine. Most people at this age don't want to because it's just another thing you have to carry around. So anytime he does a behavior that you like, you can say yes or good. Both of those are marker words, and he knows the behavior that he is doing is what you have asked, and a reward is to follow. Now, for simple commands like sit or here, you don't always have to have this training pouch on. In the beginning, I would work with him frequently with this on just so he's used to you being his new handler. If you have any questions, please let me know. Super sweet boy, super eager to please. I know you guys are going to love him. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you again for choosing Southland Goldens. If you have any questions, feel free to pick up the phone or shoot me an email. We're happy to help. You ready? Our next two commands are going to be combined together. They are sit and down. The reason I combine them together is because at this level of training, Mr. Brown knows sit really well. So the verbal cue for sit is going to be, Mr. Brown, sit. Good. The hand signal is to take your fists like this. You can do them together or you can do them separate. Either way, he knows what it means. So for a sit, it is Mr. Brown, sit. The most important thing is that Mr. Brown stays seated until we release him. Now, when he comes home to you guys, he's got to get used to you being the trainer. So I want you to reward him frequently. Just say, yes, good boy. I'm giving him 2 pieces of kibble just to remind him, hey, you're to stay seated until I say, okay, and tap the side of my leg. Now for down, the way we teach Mr. Brown down, I'll show you, is first we're going to get him to sit. Mr. Brown, sit. Yes. For down, what we do is we take our hand and we lower it to the ground and we say, Mr. Brown, down. Good. Now, same thing as sit. He is to stay laying down until we release him. In the beginning, when he comes home, I want you to reward him frequently like I am right here. And to release him, you just say, okay, and tap the side of your leg. He can stay there or he can get up and roam around. So, sit, super simple. Yes. Mr. Brown, down, take our hand, lower it to the ground. Good. Stay there until we say, okay, and tap the side of our leg. Good boy, good boy. So this time we'll do just the hand signals. Good. So that meant sit. Good. And that meant down. Good boy. And again, to stay there until we say, okay, good boy, good boy. All right, we'll do just the verbal. Mr. Brown, sit. Yes. Now for down, you do have to use a hand signal with that one. Mr. Brown, down. Good. Good. Okay. So a recap on sit and down, super simple commands for Mr. Brown. He knows them very well. For sit, it's either Mr. Brown, sit. Hand signal is to take your fists like this, or you can do them together. Mr. Brown, sit. Now for down, it's Mr. Brown, down. You have to do the hand signal and the verbal cues together. Take your hand, Mr. Brown, down, and you're going to lower it down to the ground. Mr. Brown, down. Good. And he's like a child. He's listening to everything I say. Good boy. Good boy. So our next command is here. Anytime we ask Mr. Brown to come to us, we always use the verbal cue of Mr. Brown here. So what we do with our hand, we do this a little different than most trainers. What I want the dog that's going to come all the way to me. I don't want one that's going to stop 5 feet out and then take off for something else. So you'll see, anytime we ask Mr. Brown to come to us, I lower my right hand down by my leg and I say, Mr. Brown, here. His nose is to touch my hand and he is to automatically sit. So this is the way it looks. I'm going to get him to stay. Mr. Brown, here, watch his nose. His nose is going to touch. He's going to sit, and that's when I'm going to click to mark the behavior. Good boy, good boy. You don't have to use the clicker. You can just say good. Either way. Okay, I'm going to tap the side of my leg to release him. Mr. Brown, sit and stay. So again, I want you to watch my hand, and the way this works is I lower it down so his nose can touch my hand, and I want him to automatically sit. I don't have to ask him to sit. It's going to look like this. Mr. Brown, here. His nose touches. He sits down. Good. Good boy. So there I didn't use the clicker. Either option is fine. He is to stay seated until I say, okay, and tap the side of my leg. So again, super important. This is the one that has the most steps. You're going to take your right hand. You're going to lower it down by your leg. Say, Mr. Brown, here. You'll see right there, even his nose is touching. And he's going to automatically sit. I'm going to come over, stay. I'm going to come a little closer to the camera so you can watch his nose. Mr. Brown, here. Good. Nose touch, auto sit, and a reward. Good boy, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, good boy. And again, he's to stay seated there until I release him by saying, okay, and tap the side of my leg. Now, when I do that, he's free to stay there. He's free to follow me around either way, but it's on my terms, not on his. So I'm going to let him just walk around a little bit or lay there, just kind of ramble on so I can show me calling him over while we're technically not in a training session. So I'm going to walk around. Mr. Brown, here. And watch this nose, touch, and a sit. Good boy, good boy. And don't forget to praise him. He loves attention. Good boy. Yes. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. And tap the side of my leg to release him. So a recap again for here. Take that hand, lower it down. Mr. Brown here. Nose is going to touch, and he's going to automatically sit. And that's when we follow with a reward. That is here. So our next command is stay. Anytime we ask Mr. Brown to stay, I'm going to hold my hand up like a stop sign. I want to say it in a pretty firm tone. I want to make sure that he hears me. So it looks like this. Mr. Brown, stay, stay. Now he can sit or he can lay down. Either is perfectly fine. Stay. Mr. Brown, here. Here. Boy. I know it's hot. I know. Good boy. Good boy. It's about 100 degrees here today. Good boy. I won't make you stay too long. Okay? So we'll go again just so you can see. Mr. Brown, sit. Stay. Stay. Firm tone. Hold your hand up like a stop sign. Stay. I want to be able to say other things. I want to be able to walk around. He's listening for me to call him to me, or to tap the side of my leg just to say okay, which is our release tone. So I will call him over to me. Mr. Brown, here. Here. Good boy. Good boy, Mr. Brown. And an auto sit. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. And one last final time. Again, I just want to do a recap for stay. Hold your hand up like a stop sign. I'll drop the treat. Hold your hand up like a stop sign in a firm tone. So sit, stay, stay. This time, instead of calling him over to me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over and release him. Again, I want to be able to say things that I don't have the dog that just automatically breaks away. So he's watching me, listening for me to either call him over or to release him. And to release him, I've asked him to stay. I'm going to mark the stay. Good. And I'm going to say, okay. And that just means, hey, you're free to stay laying down. You're free to get up, roam around. It was on my terms, not on his. So again, anytime we ask Mr. Brown to stay, it is a firm tone. First, you want to ask him to sit, and you're going to hold your hand up like a stop sign, and you're going to say stay. It's really hot out here. Again, it's about 100 degrees, so he's going to lay in the shade, but I did want to show you from a distance what stay looks like. Hold your hand up like a stop sign and a firm tone of Mr. Brown, stay. So our next command is crate. So anytime we ask Mr. Brown to go into the crate, all we have to do is walk over, say his name, and point to the crate. He knows that he is to stay there until I release him or shut the door and walk away. So it looks like this. Mr. Brown, crate. Yes, as soon as he gets all 4 paws in there, I'm going to say yes, good boy, mark that behavior. And he knows that he's to stay in this crate until I release him. So I can walk around, do whatever I need to do. Now, in the beginning, he's got to get used to the crate being at your home. So I wouldn't go too far. Here at our home, we can walk around and do things. He's going to stay there with the door open. But again, puppies take a step back when they transition. It's just for a very short period of time. So we want to make sure we set him up for success. So if you have to walk away, just shut the door and he'll be fine in there. Okay, good boy, Mr. Brown. Yes, good boy. So again, super simple. Mr. Brown, crate. Yes, good boy. And he will stay there until we release him. And to release him, we can just say, okay, good boy, good boy. The main thing that I would say with crate is like place. Keep it in the same place because we want to be able to say Mr. Brown crate, and he is to go in there and lay down on his own without us having to walk and show him every single time. So if you keep your crate in the same place, just like place, he's going to know where to go without you having to walk all the way over there. Again, this is something you're going to have to build on because he's not used to your home. He's not familiar with your home. So in the beginning, do walk over and say, Mr. Brown, crate. And he knows to go into the crate and to settle. Yes. So that is crate. Okay. So our next command is place. This is the Kuranda bed, like the dog cot that is on our supply recommendation page. Hopefully you've already ordered one. If not, let me know. I'll send you the link. I highly, highly, highly recommend these beds. The dogs love them. It's what we use for place, and it is just one of my favorite commands. The way that we tell Mr. Brown to go to his place is very simple. We walk over, show him where it is. We say Mr. Brown place. As soon as he gets on there, that's when we reward him. The main thing about place is to keep it in the same location in your home. The reason we do that is because we want to be able to have the dog that we can say Mr. Brown place, and he knows exactly where to go. Now in the beginning, he has no clue where it is at your home, and you're going to have to walk over and show him, and that's going to last for, probably a couple of weeks just till he gets familiar with everything. But as he continues to build on that command, as he gets a little bit older, you want to be able to say Mr. Brown place. He knows where to go. Most important thing is that he stays there until he's released. So super simple. We just walk over, say, Mr. Brown, place. Yes. So as soon as all 4 paws get on the place board, that is when we mark it. Now he can stand up, walk around, lay down, as long as he stays on this place board until he is released. That's why I really love these elevated beds. It gives the dog a boundary that they know that they cannot get off of until I tell them, hey, that's okay. So he has to stay there until I release him by either saying okay or calling him over to me. Again, when I do release him, he's free to stay there if he wants, but he can't get off the place board unless it is on my terms, not on his terms. So a super simple command by just walking over, saying Mr. Brown place. Now you can go back and forth, especially in the beginning as he gets used to you guys being his trainers. You're going to walk over and just say, yes, good boy. Remind him that he is to stay because we haven't released him. But we do want to go by and just reward him, kind of like familiar with it's kind of like similar to when we were doing sit and down. He knows he's to stay there until we tell him it's okay. Okay, good boy. Now, he can stay there if he wants to. For video purposes, I'm going to call him over. Mr. Brown, here. Good. Yes. So again, one more time, for place, you just say, Mr. Brown, place. Good. Good. He knows he's to stay there until I release him. So super simple. All you have to do is say his name and walk over and point to the location. Again, highly, highly, highly recommend getting one of the elevated beds. The big soft pillows really don't work as well, especially for the place command. So just an elevated bed. The Kuranda beds are really good. If you need the link, just let me know and I'll send you the information. This is place. Anytime I take Mr. Brown for a walk, I always put him on my left side. You'll see the leash that we have here. I'm going to be sending this home with him. But what we do is we put him on that left side and we just say, Mr. Brown, heel. And he's going to walk right here on my left side, even with me. And when I stop, Mr. Brown knows to automatically sit. Good. Heel. And I'm just going to go out here and walk around just so you can kind of see, and I'll come back towards you. That's the auto sit. Good. Heel. Turn and go back this way so you can see. Mr. Brown. Sit. Good. Heel. Heel. So Mr. Brown is still a puppy. Of course, he still has a lot of energy, a very well-behaved puppy, but we got to be able to make sure to get the energy out. So one of his favorite things is fetch. So just want to show you a little game of fetch we play with him. Mr. Brown, you ready? Ready? Go get it. Good boy, good boy. Mr. Brown, here. Yes, yes, good. Good boy. Release. Good boy. Ready? Go get it. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Yes. Release. Yes. So when I tell him to release, what I'm looking for, okay, is for him just to have a light jaw where I can grab the ball out. He doesn't necessarily have to drop it. Release just means release some of the tension for holding on to the tennis ball so I can easily grab it. One more time. You ready, big guy? Ready? Go get it. And once he gets it, lots of praise. Good boy.